I just wish these guys had the advantage of watching all these replays and all these incidents. Max had such a great truck, had led this race and raced up front, and unfortunately that Geico Toyota's not going to be around for the finish.
Both those guys raced a little bit of Formula One, Phil. I wonder if they ever had problems over there. You could see Nelson's front end was moving toward the inside of the track when he actually bumped Max, which certainly isn't the way to go about doing that.
Got a bit of a Formula One connection there. Obviously, three-time world champion Nelson Piquet, father to Nelson Piquet Jr., and Emerson Fittipaldi, former world champion, I think maybe a two-time world champion, is Max's father-in-law.
Luckily for us, that was just a one-truck accident. We've seen the other bump drafting accidents result in multiple trucks over in the infield.
Well, we're running out of trucks to involve in these incidents.
Again, rule changes for 2010. 6 men can go over the wall. You can change tires and fuel on a pit stop. They're working on 9 back onto the racetrack after such an impressive performance up to this point for Max Pappas. The field dwindling in the Camping World Truck Series first event.
We're down to 16 trucks on the lead lap right now.
We had the trend started on lap 1, Rick.
Yeah, 2 big wrecks, and this one was the first as they're entering turn number 3.
This is the only one that didn't have anything to do with bump drafting.
Austin Dillon gets a little bit squirrely, takes Johnny Sauter up into the outside wall. Kyle Busch gets a pretty good piece of it. Spends about 18 or 20 laps behind pit wall.
Got 9 trucks involved in that first one, as well as the second one. Here's the bump drafting by Ricky Carmichael in the Ford.
And that just shows you how little of a hit can cause such a big mess.
Hornaday, Elliott Sadler involved in this one. Eric Almirola, who, by the way, is still on the lead lap.
And then Max Pappas involved in our 7th caution. A lot of damage to the right front. There's damage to the rear of that truck, and it looks as though they'll push it behind the wall to do some more work.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. These guys are gonna have to do a lot of work so they
quickly.
How are we gonna get to Atlanta? I'm worried about getting everybody repaired to get over there.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can chat with our pole sitter, Jason White.
Dillon coming back out on the track.
Hey, Jason White, Phil Parsons up in his speed booth. You have a copy?
I got you, Phil.
You've had that thing up front this entire race. You're running 6th right now, Jason. The laps are dwindling. Do you know what you need to do to get by those Toyotas up there?
Man, they're teaming up on me, but I think I got the truck to beat. I think we just got to put ourselves in the right position here, and I think we can do it.
Tell you, Jason, those trucks look like they are a handful out there. We see them jumping around, going through the bumps, and the bump drafting today has not worked at all.
Yeah, they are a handful, this new shock package, but man, the team has given me, the Scumbreaker.com Ford, the team's given me a great truck, and we'll see how it plays out here. We'll see if we got something for them.
All right, buddy, you've had a great run so far. Finish it off.
Thanks, Phil.
I guarantee you there's a whole restaurant full of people over in Cornelius, North Carolina. They're at Red Rocks that are cheering for Jason. They all gather there and support Jason. Everybody's a big fan of White because he's such a good dude, and he's got a lot of fans watching.
There'll be some Joe Gibbs Racing folks that'll probably be there watching the countdown to the Daytona 500. Joe Gibbs Racing, that's coming up next right here on Speed. The final episode as the 500 gets underway tomorrow. Ray.
Well, Rick, at the top of the show, I told you about this particular truck that Todd Bodine is driving. It's chassis number 58, and what an incredible pedigree it has. And Todd has said this thing has been perfect all night. They do have a set of sticker tires down here in the pits. I just asked Mike Hillman Jr. if he's going to get them. He said, we just got to play it out and see how it goes here. But right now, as good as Todd's been and happy as he is with that truck, we plan on possibly staying out. Adam?
And speaking of tires, Ray, Stacy Compton will restart second to the outside of Todd Bodine when the green flag goes back in the air. They did not want to save that set of tires. They wanted to put them on. They came for 4 tires and fuel at lap 76. His tires a little fresher than the others. We'll see if that pays dividends for that Truck Series veteran over the course of the last 13 laps.
Whew.
I hope the bump drafting's over with.
I hope it is too, and I hope Todd Bodine don't plan on coming to get tires. He doesn't, does he?
Surely not.
There's only 13 laps to go, Rick.
Green flag back in the air. Todd Bodine, Stacy Compton, Timothy Peters, Dennis Setzer, Johnny Benson, your top 5 as they go toward turn number 1.
And let's watch Matt Crafton. He's been telling us his plan all night long. Let's see how that works out.
Surely he's not going to wait any longer. He's getting pretty racy right now.
Thinks he has a truck that can move to the front. We haven't seen it yet, but he's been laying back, hoping to avoid any incidents that might take place in front of him. And up to this point, it's worked.
A couple Toyotas hooked up front. Todd Bodine, Timothy Peters, the Ford of Johnny Benson right now running third. There's Jay White, another Ford side by side for the 4th position with Stacy Compton. Look at Matt Crafton up into the top 10 for the first time.
Crafton staying on the bottom line. He's the yellow 88 truck.
Right behind Nelson Piquet Jr. Great effort for the first time for Nelson Piquet Jr.
And Donnie Neuenberger just behind him in the number 6 truck. Also a great run for that team.
There's Eric Almirola. A lot of damage to that truck involved in that second incident, I believe, and still on the lead lap.
See Dennis Setzer looking down there under the yellow line, wondering what was going on ahead of him. As you see, the trucks are starting to bunch up. When you do that, you see a guy shoot to the outside, and that guy's Matt Crafton.
Matt Crafton making the run on the outside. How about that run for Crafton?
Still down there.
He needs some help, Rick. He needs somebody to get up there with him.
See Ron Hornaday's
back on the racetrack. You see a lot of damage to that truck. It was early for him when he had the problems, and you just heard him say still a lot of time. Still a lot of time being told to Matt Crafton. Crafton looking for his 2nd ever win in the Camping World Truck Series. His first came 2 years ago in Charlotte.
Had a great run on the outside going in turn number 3. Got by a couple 3 trucks, but now is stalled out, running side by side with Nelson Piquet Jr.
Elliott Sadler also on the racetrack. You see him on the left side of your screen. He's 21st, also numerous laps down.
Elliott was in that second big one with his teammate Ron Hornaday.
Your top 5 has spread out in the front of this field. The 46 of Dennis Setzer running 5th. And our pole winner in the 23 running in the 4th spot. Adam.
And you just mentioned Jason White in that bottom groove running in the 4th position. He said, let me know when the high lane starts coming. I'll jump out and go with him. I can make it work. 10 laps to go. We'll see if Matt Crafton can get up there, and if he can, if Jay White jumps in front of him and can use the draft to his advantage.
You know, I do pretty good for about 75, 80 laps, but my heart's beating like I'm out there driving because I know what lies ahead. These guys are going to have to start really taking some chances. We've seen innocent bump drafting cause crashes, but now we're going to see guys that are trying to win at Daytona, and that could cause the big one.
Crafton's going to pull up beside Dennis Setzer. He's gained your top 10 run in that 01 truck, the black and blue one.
Currently running in the 11th spot, trying to break into that top 10. Again, the outside line being led by the 88 of Matt Crafton. He has laid back this entire race. There's a closer look at that 01 of J.J. Yaley.
He's going to go to the outside of Brett Butler. See Johnny Benson behind him. Look at all the ground Johnny lost when he got sideways 2 or 3 laps ago.
You know, if you think about Brett Butler, he qualified back in 27th, and to be able to hang around and be a part of the top 10 here with just 6 to go at Daytona. 24-year-old kid hadn't ever seen this place before. This is valuable for him to see all this.
How about Donnie Neuenberger? Really impressed with him. He's just outside the top 5 in that red and white number 6 truck.
There's so many good stories up here in the top 10 as we race toward that checkered flag, but the best story is going to be what these guys up front do. Dennis Setzer's hood's flopping loose there.
At 46 of Dennis Setzer.
Remember, he had damage from that practice crash a couple of days ago.
I hope that thing will hang in there for a few more laps to get a chance to try to win this thing.
Setzer running in the 4th spot. Out in front, Todd Bodine. Timothy Peters just behind him in the 17.
See the hood there? It's precarious. It might hold in there, Phil. It's going to be close.
Looks like it still has at least 4 pins in it. That should hold it.
You know, we saw Todd Bodine jump a little high off turn 4 there. You got to stay down there on that yellow line to hold that lead.
Into the wall coming out of turn number 4. One of the trucks got into the wall. Now he makes the hard left turn. That's the 39 of Ryan C.
Still staying green, guys.
He is off the racetrack. Green flag still out.
NASCAR's looking to